Welcome to Waking Hope, nurturing healing and opportunity to find your purpose and better me empowered lives. We are now entering an hour of growth, light, and love. I'm Christine Vibrant, and together we will delve into what makes you, you, and learn that you can and should love yourself, and how better me empowered living can access these and more. You are more than the sum of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Find yourself as part of the divine. Find healing, rest, and positivity for yourself and the entire world. Waking Hope starts now. I'm here with you on a beautiful Thursday morning down here in Brownsville, Texas. I don't know where you're listening in from, and I hope that you've got a smile on your face as you're tuning in and listening to my voice. I just wanted to share how beautiful it is here. As you can see, I've got a cute little zesty dress on to celebrate the day. And I wanted to ask you, as usual, when we start the show, how have you shown your self-love today? This can manifest in many different ways. And when you first start the adventure of stepping into your better me empowered life, showing your self-love is essential. Going through change and transformation can feel really, really difficult. And that's because it's resistance that you're going through. As we know, and as we're starting to understand more and more, energy is frequency and vibration. And energy is everything. And your emotions are energy in motion. And so showing yourself love is going to help you to really step up and step in to the title of today's episode. And the title of today's episode is Impossible Dreams and How to Achieve Them. Now, this is not a clickbait. This is not something to hook you in and to try and sell you something. This is something I have been stepping into myself for a very long time, longer than I even understood. And this is why I am your Better Me Empowered Coach, because I've walked my talk and I continue to walk my talk, and I am continuing to walk my talk. But there have been so many directions and misdirections and redirections that I thought this would be a great time to bring this episode to you in light of the fact that we're stepping into a new year soon. We're in December. It's December 8th, for those of you who are listening later on the podcast. And it's a turbulent time in the year. There are people feeling all kinds of things which may not be helpful at this time of the year. And then, of course, there are people that are just celebrating life and having a wonderful time. And the two sides can have a difficult time interacting or perhaps integrating with each other at this time because feelings come up. And one of the words that I've seen thrown around social media, and please use your social media wisely at this time, words that I've seen thrown around social media are trigger, trigger, trigger. And that's important to acknowledge, but it's also really important for you to understand that when you're triggered, you're getting in your way. And that is the version of you that is standing between you and your impossible dream. So let's break down real quick what an impossible dream is. And this is why I bring showing yourself love into it. For me, an impossible dream has been this exact interaction. Spending time with you on a global platform, spending time with you, speaking freely. And I have to say, I've thrown out my script for the day. I will be publishing it in my blog. So for those of you who are curious about what it is I wanted to say today, I will have it up on my blog, www.beingbetterme.com. Head on over. There's a lot of great tips and tricks, as well as free client downloads, free coaching downloads to help you. But head on over to the blog for that. That is, well, another impossible dream. Having my own website, an impossible dream. Having my own business, Being Better Me LLC, an impossible dream. 2 years ago, speaking freely without pain. judging me, making me judge myself, I should say, stepping into a version of me that I didn't quite like because of this chronic, unending pain, really kept me back. And it is these moments when you look at your life and you're holding your dream in your hand that you have the ultimate choice. Please remember again, emotion is energy in motion. So it's so important that when you have an impossible dream, you know the one I mean, the one you just can't let go of, the one that keeps coming up, no matter how many people you've brought it up to and they tell you what they would not do or why they wouldn't do it. The feedback you get that's negative that keeps you stuck. That dream. Maybe it's a big one. I have those. Those are 20-year down the line dreams. But I didn't know that at the time. All I knew is I had a great big dream. Those impossible dreams are the ones that are going to open you up to the version of you you have been seeking your whole time. Because remember, reaching a dream is not the end. Reaching a dream is the beginning. And your impossible dreams are where your soul is going to come through your higher self, the messages from God's source, however you feel and interact and experience with this part of who we are, the spirituality of who we are in your physical form, working through obstacles in your mental self. There's a lot that you will experience stepping into these dreams. And so self-love is vital, absolutely vital. Loving yourself can be knowing when you're at a moment that you must make that choice to say, today is the day. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not putting this off. I am not going to give into what ifs. I am not going to listen to the people who told me no, because I know they're giving me their perspective of my life. Please remember that. People who interact with you about your dreams are rarely hearing it from your point of view and mostly hearing it from their life perspective. So listen to the feedback and do not absorb it. Just hear what they have to say. And do it anyway. Stepping into that empowered version of yourself is going to feel different to everybody. I'd like to share with you what it felt like to me, stepping into the better me empowered version that opened up my voice. And some of you will know and some of you will not, but I was 15 years old when this happened. And that was my 5th year of silence, mostly. And it's such a bad stutter that I could barely even say my name or speak to the people that loved me the most, my family. I could barely speak, especially when it had to be me by myself. When the attention was all on me, I couldn't open my mouth. It didn't stop me achieving. In all of this time of silence, when we had our awards, I was always in 1st or 2nd place. Gaining awards, stepping up on stage, huge smile on my face, constantly achieving. But my inner world was limited. And I was not unloved. I was not unloved. I was loved so much, almost because of it. And this is something that a lot of people will misunderstand. Having moments of limited, and perhaps months and years of limitations, can help you make you feel isolated. But the help that you seek is right there. And there are many ways for you to reach out. Something I want to pop up real quick, and I'll pop this on my, it's on my Linktree as well, Christine Vibrant Linktree, is NAMI.org. At this time of the year, when you're feeling a lot and when you're stepping into aversion and you're having to go into change, please just take care of yourself. And a way to show self-love is to take care of that which your coach cannot. We're not therapists, but we do encourage you to work through some really difficult times. And if you're not sure about resources near you, head on over to NAMI.org. That's NAMI.org, NAMI.org. just for some resources and some tips and tricks. And these are from people who have got your best interests at heart. And if you're not needing that level yet, and perhaps one day you will, and maybe you've come through it. I've navigated so many years of that. And it's a wonderful form of self-love, because what you learn is your programming, you learn your limited thinking, and you learn to get out of yourself. But here's what it feels like. Taking a first step onto your better me empowered life is like when I took that first step onto a stage after 5 years of silence to audition for a play. I took that first step and I thought that the world was going to end and cave in around me. And what was I doing, Christine? This is Armageddon. And of course, when it wasn't, I took a breath and I took a next step. And it didn't feel quite so bad this time. And so I took a breath and I took the next step. But my choice was what propelled me forward. My choice was what kept me going. My choice was what put me up on that stage, script in hand, with everybody staring, absolutely aghast. What is she doing? She doesn't speak. Why is she on the stage? And I opened my mouth, and because it wasn't me, the words flowed. And I discovered a whole new way of being, and a whole new way of accessing that inner part of me that is the resilient form, that is the courageous form, and the bravest version of me I have ever encountered. To this day, she's still with me. She's the one I show self-love to. She has carried me across the world and into dreams, and she's the one who's showing up more dreams to me. You can do this. You may think you can't, and if you stay there, you're correct. But if you choose to, you absolutely can. And so here's the question. Once you've made this choice, and once you've taken hold of that courageous version of you through self-love and self-care, what do you do next? Especially if you're like me and you've checked all the boxes you're meant to check and it's still not working out exactly the way you wanted. That is what we're going to discuss when we come back. But before we take a break and take a pause here and give ourselves some time to sip on something warm, I encourage you to get something to write with and something to write on. This is something that I want to bring into my sessions always, because it's part of us that we overcome. Stepping into writing things down can feel very resistant, but it is that version of you that gets in the way of the dream. So bring it with you. Something to write with, something to write on. We're going to take the next step after we've made this choice for our impossible dream. And since we need a little bit of courage and a little bit of warmth, go and grab a mug of something to drink as well. And I'm so excited to be back with you after the pause. Your host, Christine Vibrant, on Waking Hope, talking about impossible dreams and how to achieve them. Send me an email, christine@beingbetterme.com. I'm curious about your dream. And we'll be right back after this break. And we're back. Welcome back to Waking Hope with your host, Christine Vibrant. I'm here on this beautiful Thursday morning with you, calling in. I'm speaking with you live from Texas. I feel as if I want to ask someone to call in, but perhaps we'll do that next episode. In fact, I think we will. I'm going to put that on the books. Next episode, we are going to have a caller in, and I'm going to be giving away a free session. This time, though, we are talking about your impossible dreams and how to achieve them. And before the break, we were talking about self-love as one of the most vital components of achieving these impossible dreams. And that is one of the questions I ask you every day that we are together. How have you shown your self-love today? I'm going to show you my little bit of self-love, and it's going to introduce you to the cheekier side of me. For those of you who can't see, And this is something that I showed Jacob right when we had the break. And I thought, just to show you, since this is completely unscripted, I've thrown out the script. It's going to be on my blog, www.beingbetterme.com. But today, with Impossible Dreams and How to Achieve Them, this is very organic. This is very authentic. I'm sharing my steps with you as I have stepped into impossible dreams. That this podcast and this talk radio show with you right now is an impossible dream. Yet here we are. And that I'm already setting into motion other impossible dreams that I can't wait to share with you perhaps next year. Part of it, huge part of it, is loving yourself, because you have to love yourself enough to stay true to that dream that has been calling you, that is relentless, that will not let you go. You know the one I'm talking about. You know that one. In fact, I would really, really love to hear what yours is. Please shoot me an email, Christine@beingbetterme.com. That's CHRISTINE @beingbetterme.com. I love to hear your impossible dreams. Your impossible dreams is where your soul work really, really, really takes effect and is the most efficient. Because in your impossible dreams, you learn all of who you are. You learn about the version of you you're wanting to release. And you get to know the version of you that you're stepping into, because it's a huge choice that you make. And it does start with choice. And that's what we discussed first. Making that choice. Today is the day. I am not waiting anymore. However you need to do it. For me, 5 years of silence took a lot of courage to take that first step onto a stage, to audition for a play. And part of it was stepping into something and someone who was not me, and borrowing their words to allow myself to be. And that's okay, because I took the step. That is the next one. My form of self-love is having fun and being playful and stepping into a little bit of sassiness. So for those of you who can see and hear, I identify as a female. And so my pronouns are she, her. And I have feline companions. I have cats in my home. But today, my mug says dog dad. And this is my little form. Whenever I see it, I have a chuckle, because I do not own or share my life with a dog, with a canine companion at all. And I'm not a dad. So this gives me a smile. That's my form of self-love. It's a little silly, but you know what? It's something I can access every day. And so I encourage you as well to step into some self-love that you can sustain so that you can take this next step. Sitting with your dream and committing to it is going to feel wonderful. And so I want you to get something to write on and something to write with. And I want you to write down that dream. And you don't have to show this to anybody. This is for you. I can show you real quick that a lot of what I write is pretty much illegible, because it's not meant to be reviewed over and over. This is for me to come back to sometimes. And sometimes it's just to get out what I'm feeling and to process. But writing it down is that extra level of sensory involvement, that extra level of tapping into all of who you are, because you are your body and your mind and your energy and your spirit, and you are every bit of programming that has been given to you. And so as you step into this dream, it's going to be a filter for all of that. And that's what the commitment is really about. On social media, we work with filters all the time. And I've been resistant to them. And even when I had my hair done, I was resistant to coloring it and hiding my grays, because I've realized that when we filter, we are given options. And those options are really going to keep us limited or open us up to the possibility of everything we can be that is within our understanding at this moment and beyond. Because remember, who you are right now is perhaps a dream for the person who you were 5 years ago. That's certainly the reality for me. 5 years ago, I didn't think I would possibly ever be able to be in the position I am now of being a business owner, of working for myself, of having to step into self-control in a huge way. But it starts with you committing to that choice, writing it down, solidifies it, because the next step is this very difficult thing. What is the smallest possible incremental step you can take to achieve your dream? Why is that hard? Why is that hard? Because if you could have achieved this impossible dream by doing things the hard way, you would already be achieving it. We are trained as we grow older to do things the difficult way because we forget to let go of the baggage given to us by people with the best intentions. And we forget how slow change really is. And this is what kind of gets us caught up. Change is inevitable. How you respond to change will teach you about yourself. And so diving into this impossible dream is important for the relationship with yourself to be solid, to be aligned, to be completely within your control and your understanding, because outside forces are going to come and rock that boat. That's your test. Teach, test, trust. This is what I have discovered in my life of stepping into impossible dreams. When I wanted to start this business, it felt overwhelming. I had all the voices in my head from my past, all the voices in my head from well-meaning people giving feedback, voices in my head from loved ones giving me their feedback, holding me back, telling me it was the biggest mistake of my life. And why am I taking this risk? But this has been something that has been in my imagination when I daydream, when I think about where my life is going and the choices I'm making. This has been with me for 20 years. And so for 20 years, I've held in my heart this vision of using my pain points that I have worked into PowerPoints, using the inner work that has crafted me and shaped me into a version of Christine that is so completely, vastly different from the version of Christine who stepped on the stage. I was seeing her, and that's why I was off in the distance. That beautiful child who was so terrified of everything in life found within herself that spark, that glow, that light, that trust, to take that overwhelming step on the stage. When everyone in the hall was looking at her going, the hell? What are you doing? Who is she? What is she? What? You know. We've all had those moments of watching someone do something completely against who they are, seemingly. And that's when you really get to watch the magic unfold. And I used to not want to talk about this version of me, but it is important for you to understand that I walk the talk I talk. I encourage you to do these things because I have, and it has thrilled me, and it has opened my world. I'm living in my second foreign country. I'm living in my third way of being in a society, perhaps my fourth, because I'm very close to the border with Mexico. And so there's a beautiful cultural melting pot here. I grew up in a cultural melting pot in South Africa. And then I lived and taught in Taiwan, another cultural melting pot. And so change will elevate you if you let it. if you make that choice, if you write down what your dream is so you can commit to it and revisit this and you can take that next step. I encourage you to go get the book, Something to Write On. I encourage you to write down that dream, because when we come back, we are going to put this in motion. When we come back, we're going to take this commitment to the next level. When we come back, we're going to take this step and make it concrete. And I'm going to do this with you because I'm going to talk about my impossible dream. And I'm so excited to share this with you. Please go and grab something to write with. Today is your day. Do not wait anymore. Why are you waiting? Don't do it anymore. Step into self-love. You can trust yourself. Your coach is here. Let's do this together. I'm really excited for this. Shoot me an email if you're wanting to take it a step further. Christine@beingbetterme.com. I am thrilled to work with you. I'm honored to work with you. I look forward to it. As we take this pause, I want you to think, what is holding you back? What is it that's holding you back? Really step into this. And it could be a lot of things. And you may not be clear about that at this moment. And that's why I encourage you to write this down. That's why I encourage you to make this commitment today, because clarity is going to take time. That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. Clarity. Clarifying your next step, clarifying where you're going, clarifying what the smallest possible step is. Because your impossible dream is achievable. You can do this. We deserve to see what you're capable of, as well as you. And I look forward to being a part of your journey in whatever way is possible. Head on over to my website, www.beingbetterme.com. Shoot me an email, Christine@beingbetterme.com. Or if you prefer a more personal approach, you can text me, 706-397-5801. Again, that number, 706-397-5801. And I look so forward to hearing what your impossible dream is and how you're going to achieve it. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to clarify that smallest possible step. Christine Vibrant on Waking Hope, taking a break. And we're back with Waking Hope with your host, Christine Vibrant. So excited to be spending this beautiful Thursday morning in December with you. I want to share, I'm sitting here in Brownsville, Texas, and I want to share a little bit of the brightness of the sunshine with you, give you a bit of a visual image. No matter where you are in the world right now, whatever is going on, please remember that at all moments in your life, you have access to something that is beautiful and freely available. And that's the intuitive part of you, that deep inner part that is the one that you actually can trust above everything else. That warm part of you that has got your back when nobody else has, or when it perhaps feels as if nobody else has. And the one that takes you into the moments of joyfulness and bliss and connects you with peace and calm when you need it and when you are ready to access it. And this is also a part that is important to access and to be in touch with as we step into the title of today's episode, which is Impossible Dreams and How to Achieve Them. In the last part of the episode, before I get into this, I did ask you to bring in something to write on and something to write with. So if you haven't already done that, please go and take this moment as I'm describing this beautiful scene outside to go and grab something to write with and something to write on. And we're going to do it together because a lot of people do find it resistant to put things down on paper. It makes it more real. And that's the point. Doing it together breaks through the obstacles and the barriers that are in place for whatever reason, and there's no judgment here, just absolute love and compassion. And so please take this moment real quick just to go and grab something to write with and something to write on. And while you're doing that, I'm going to bring some of this warmth into your day as I'm sitting here looking out the window. For those of you who can see me, I'm staring off, so I'm not ignoring you. For those of you who are listening, it's sunshine out there. It's December. And there are some people listening who are going to be seeing white outside. But what I see is beautiful blue sky. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful light blue, almost going into this like white, silvery white, and there's beautiful clouds, white, puffy clouds, a little bit of a hint of gray in them. And that's because we're near the ocean as well. There's moisture in the air. It's quite humid here. And it's very green. There's a lot of green out there. And the trees are beautiful. There's varied trees. We live in an area where there's a lot of lush life. I can see flowers, different colors. And these are the moments that can really, really make the difference in your day. Self-love is vital when you're stepping into the better me empowered version of yourself, and when you have taken the choice that today is the day I step into the impossible dream. Today is the day I am going to take that first step. Keeping in mind that achieving that impossible dream may look and feel different at the end and when you get there than it does in the beginning. And that's perfectly as it should be. But your self-love is the key to continue through this change, because it is change. Stepping into impossible dreams will transform you. It is inevitable. And it is a beautiful transformation if it is friction-free, or at least as easy as you make it. And you have a choice to do that. You may have to let go of some things that you've been holding on to for too long, and you may not be aware of what you're holding on to. Because the truth of the matter is, the one who's getting in the way of your impossible dreams is you, a version of you. And that's a difficult truth to accept. And this is where self-love comes in. Giving yourself self-love in times of trials and tribulations, difficult emotions, resistance, when you're feeling just overwhelmed. And since we're heading into the holiday season, this is one of those moments. Reconnecting with where we come from is vital. And so as a quick little seg, please, when you're feeling a lot and you're not able to get in touch with someone who can help you, we mentioned it in the first little part of the episode, NAMI.org, NAMI.org. This is for tips, for connections, for helping you get through just difficult, resistant times, but something that's also freely available to a lot of us. And if it's not, please send me an email, Christine@beingbetterme.com. We'll figure it out. Nature outside. Taking a few minutes, if you can't be outside, just to connect visually, orally with it. Open the window if you can smell it. Connect, use your senses. Connect with nature and bring those resistant moments down. You've got this. You really do. You really do. And we'll do this together. So I hope you've got your book or something to write with, on, and something to write with. If you're playful like I am, go and grab a marker as well. Please, this is for you. This is no judgment. You can write with whatever you want. If you want a quill pen, do it. This is for you. I want to show you real quick. I get playful every day. I have cats as my companions, and I identify as female. And so my mug says dog dad, just to keep reminding me to keep it real, to keep it humble, and to keep laughing at life. Because the playfulness is what's going to get you through it too. So here we go. Big impossible dreams. One of my big impossible dreams is writing a book. This is another one that's been on my mind. And this one has been with me for far longer than the business dream. The business dream I shared before was with me for 20 years. Big impossible dream. Certainly not in a foreign country. Yet here I am as a South African owning a business in America that is still going after its first year. I mean, impossible dream, check, check, check. And I never thought I could, and yet here I am. Small steps. Writing it down solidifies it. A lot of people that I work with, and a lot of people that I just give my consultations to, the resistance to writing is real. I feel you. I feel this. There's too much of it. And there's different sources that it's coming from, various reasons why. And that is not an excuse to keep you from stepping into this. This is the part of coaching I like as well. I'm going to keep you accountable. You need to understand there is no one who is going to do this but you. You cannot wait anymore. This is your time. This is your turn. And you can make this happen. It may have to be a lot longer in the making than what you want. But taking that first step is going to get it going, at least. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. And just a real quick thing I wanted to share. That pressure you're putting on yourself, let it go, please. When I launched my website, I was terrified. This was a huge impossible dream, and yet here I was, and I was going to publish it, and I was shaking, and I had tears in my eyes because I didn't think I was ready for all of the 1,000 orders that were going to come rolling in as soon as I pushed publish. And guess how many orders came rolling in? Exactly. This pressure is in your head, been given to you by other people. It's time to let it go. Writing it down, let's go. Huge impossible dream. Mine is writing a book. So I'm going to write down book, and I am going to put it in a nice big square. Okay. I've got book down. And I've got space around it to scribble and squiggle and write whatever it is I want. The clarity of the book. Why do I want to write the book? I have to gain clarity on why I want to do this. It's important to me. It's important to me to write a book because my journey has been transformational. And I want to share the steps I've taken because there are people that are like me who slip into the cracks of the world, and your story deserves to be heard. And you deserve to know that you're not alone. And so I want to share the story because, one, it's a celebration of my life and what I've achieved. And two, I hope that if it reaches one person and turns around their perspective of what life can be, I will feel as if I have achieved my soul purpose. So my clarity for the book, one, it's a celebration, which is important. Celebrate your wins, celebrate your achievements, celebrate your inner work, celebrate what you're overcoming. You need to be your best cheerleader. Have fun with this. You're incredible. You're taking the step. You're incredible. There are lots of other people who will never take this first step. Yes, you may be feeling a lot. That's okay. Scream it out, write it out, wiggle it out. We'll get to that next time. Next time I've got a caller. Don't forget, next time I'm taking a caller, so don't forget to call in. Celebration. The next one is I feel as if I'm stepping into my soul purpose. So I have clarity over why I want to write this book. And it's important to have this clarity because taking the smallest possible step sounds very easy. But for those of you who have chronic illness, for those of you who have chronic pain, and don't forget that your brain registers physical and emotional pain the exact same way. I'm going to say that again. Your brain registers and perceives physical pain and emotional pain exactly the same. There is no difference. There are many studies. Functional MRIs have found this out. I encourage you to be skeptical and to go look it up. Pain is going to get in your way, but it is not bigger than you are. And so having this clarity, I call it a motivation station of why you're wanting to do this is important because sometimes the smallest possible step can feel like a huge leap, but you're going to do it. You guys with chronic illness, you know, you ladies with chronic illness, those of you who identify as they, them, I'm learning how to incorporate speech that is unfamiliar to me, but because I want to reach you where you are and I respect you and I want to know your story because it's valuable to me. I hope that I'm also addressing everybody with respect. But anyone who has dealt with limitations and limiting beliefs, limiting physicality, you know that one small step can feel enormous. Sometimes just getting out of bed takes everything you've got. If you're a spoonie, you know what I'm talking about. But you know what? We always keep that one spoon for ourselves, don't we? And that's the spoon I want you to use. If you need to take the step while you're in bed, maybe taking the step is doing a little bit of extra meditation today. Do it the most comfortably you can. If you're someone that is without physical limitations, and perhaps the limitations that are in your head were given to you from childhood, Let's get those out the way too. Yeah, let's kick them out of the way. Get rid of them, get playful, get them out the way. Look at the reasons why this is important to you. That is what matters. Again, getting clarity matters. Writing it down is important. Doesn't have to be neat. Mine is a scribble. This is my way of rebelling. This is my inner rebellion. I refuse to conform to your requirement of me to be neat when I'm tapping into myself. That inner rebellion is also essential. That's why I like to have fun with it. The smallest possible step I can take for this book, committing to it, is committing to it as a habit. And this is where the magic of my programs come in. As a coach, I have 90-day programs. I can make them shorter for those who are seriously committed. But a 90-day program means I meet you once a week and we build steps that create inevitable success. We create habit change together because you know what you need deep down. It's just that putting it in place is tough. And you don't have all of the ingredients for this magical creation you're making. So here we go. I'm going to give you the very smallest step that I can do. The smallest step I can do is look at my schedule every day and commit to writing something for 30 minutes a day. I can commit to that. That's something, especially if I look at my screen time on my phone. Look at the screen time on your phone. That's where the time for your dreams lie, my friends. This is where the time to access your dreams lies. Look at your screen time and give yourself this promise. I am worth more than giving my time away to these people who are getting it from so many other people. And I'm worth giving this back to me and putting my dreams into motion. Again, Christine@beingbetterme.com. That's my email. I'm curious. I want to know what your dream is. Let's see how we can figure out this first possible step. Do have a consultation with me. It is worth it. Whether we go into a program or not, you're going to leave this discovery call feeling so much more solid in what it is you're wanting to achieve and how to get there. And whether working with a coach is one of the smallest steps you can take or not, because for some people it is not. And I am not going to work with you if that's not the case, because that space needs to be available for someone who is ready to work with a coach. Because I will keep you accountable. This will happen. It is inevitable. So my most small step is giving myself 30 minutes every day. I've committed to this while I sip my coffee in my mug, giving me something to giggle about, because it's going to keep me feeling less emotional about it, less self-sabotage coming up. And I'll take my book outside to my balcony and sit and watch the beautiful nature in the clouds and take those 30 minutes every single day for a week. I commit to that, to write something down so I can get into the habit of writing. How do you think that's going to go? I'm curious. I'm curious as to what comes up. I'm curious as to how this is going to fit in. I'm curious as to what comes up in writing. I think it's going to be very interesting to see who else is going to come into my head. Perhaps the people that gave me things that weren't mine to hold on to, limiting beliefs. Perhaps their doubts and fears came in, and I've been holding on to that and I need to let it go. Perhaps I'm going to hear that encouraging voice that I've been tuning out for too long because I've been listening to the nasty. Perhaps what's going to come through is my higher self, and my book is going to be easier to write than I ever imagined possible, because I'm going to have the opportunity to open communication, to release the voice of judgment, and to invite warm and lovingly the voice of intuition, that part of me who has been with me all along, the part of me who's dedicated a love song to me that I didn't even realize was. And I know that sounds strange. Soul journeys are going to take you into places that you never imagined. But just like when we go into a theme park or somewhere new that you've never been, there's magic everywhere. There's so much available to you. It's just that you need to give it the time and the energy and the chance to be. I've been so happy to spend this time with you. And as we're sitting thinking about impossible dreams and how to achieve them, I'm going to remind you again, the original script for this show is going to be on my blog, and that's at www.beingbetterme.com. And that kind of dives a little bit deeper into it. But I thought that this more authentic, organic, just free-flowing conversation with you was vital, because I want you to understand that when you work with someone who has experience of life that is beyond what the common experience is, you're going to be working with people who have really got that access to life that you're wanting to have, that you may not know you're wanting to have. One of the best things that you can gift yourself is the knowledge that you don't know what you don't know. That's a big one. I don't know what I don't know, but I do know this. This dream has been with me for a long time. It isn't letting go. And so I feel that that's tied to a soul purpose or a calling or something that I need to experience for whatever reason. Sometimes reaching for a dream and going through that impossible dream, the journey to it, teaches you something completely different. And you can step into that experience lovingly, trusting yourself, because you know that you've given yourself what you need to be here and to be present in the moment, so that you're not stuck in the past. You're not stuck in other people's opinions of what your dream is. You're not stuck in the programming that was given to you, perhaps. Remember, I've lived in different countries. I'm from South Africa. My school was the first one to open to all races. So it's been a journey of experiencing life. I've put myself into living in discomfort, what I thought would be, by living in a culture and a country completely different to mine. I didn't even speak the language. I couldn't even read the characters. But there I was, doing something completely different. Because here's the truth. When you accept yourself as you are, right here, right now, and you commit to this dream, and today is the day. Today is the day. You're not waiting anymore. Don't wait anymore. Why are you waiting? Don't wait anymore. Today is the day you commit to this dream, and you start taking the smallest possible step, and you sit with your instrument of writing, and you sit with your paper, and you start getting clarity. Why is this important to me? Why? Things are going to come up that are going to surprise you about yourself. And one of the most beautiful gifts is realizing you are everything you're looking for. You have everything you need. And it's simply opening the channel of communication with yourself in whatever way feels comfortable, and saying, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going to commit to you. I'm going to give you the time that you deserve. I'm going to give you the love that you deserve. Remember, one of my little cutie things is love the one you're spending the rest of your life with. That's you. Love the one you're spending the rest of your life with. That's you. Your impossible dreams are achievable. Stepping into those dreams can perhaps create change, and they may not always turn out the way you imagine at the beginning. But what does happen is this transformation on all levels, if you let it. And what you'll be stepping into is that version of you that you don't know about even. The one that source, God, your higher self, however you experience life beyond is what we know, has waiting for you. And it is beyond your imagination. It is beyond your dreams, even your wildest dreams. Taking the smallest step is going to open the way. Working with someone who has already done this will help you create inevitable change. will keep you accountable. Working with someone who has a system in place, a 90-day program is good because you achieve and you celebrate. It's not this consistent relationship for years long where nothing is ever achieved. The achievement is the thing. And we bring love into it, and we bring humor. And I meet you where you are because remember, I've done this, so I'll get you. Whatever you have to bring up about why you're wanting to do this, what's important, whatever emotions you're feeling, I might not have the exact experience, but my similar experience will really help save us so much time and energy explaining. My authenticity in meeting you where you are is really going to help us be effective in navigating this. And I really encourage you to reach out for a consult. The consults are hour-long. We will spend time really diving into what it is you want. And I'm going to spend time listening. We're going to validate you. We're going to validate what it is you want to achieve and talk about next steps. Whatever happens from then on is within your control and it's your choice. But today, I want to remind you, Christine Vibrant believes in you. Christine Vibrant believes that your impossible dreams are achievable. I believe your impossible dreams are achievable. And I'm so excited to hear what they are. Reach out, Christine@beingbetterme.com. My website, www.beingbetterme.com. Text me, 706-397-5801. And head over to my YouTube channel, Christine Vibrant. Christine Vibrant on YouTube. I am putting videos and steps in place to help you take these first few steps. And I wish you love and joy. And I wish you the courage to face yourself today and to say, today is the day this dream becomes a reality. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay tuned. Waking Hope airs every second and fourth Thursday of the month. Don't forget, we're going to call in next time. But again, stay safe, stay well, take care of yourself. Thank you for spending time with me. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
As this hour of Waking Hope comes to a close, I hope you have been lifted and strengthened. I hope you have turned your pain points into PowerPoints. For more love and healing, tune in again the second and fourth Thursdays of every month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time. If you can't wait until then, reach out to me at beingbetterme.com and we'll come up with a plan together to awaken your hope, supercharge your healing, and bring your world back into balance. Until next time.